No, 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 no.
Hi everyone, welcome to Priority Holder, and today we'll be playing Jund Reanasneak in the Timeless format. Now the sort of tag team we have going on here is Reanimate, which can put a creature from any graveyard into play under our control. We definitely lose some life with that. And Sneak Attack, which is an enchantment that lets us pay a red and put a creature into play with haste temporarily and sacrifice it in the end step. So basically we're cheating creatures into play two ways, either from our hand or from the graveyard. And that just gives us a lot of options as the game develops. And so we're running a bunch of the Lord of the Rings land cyclers as ways to fix our mana and maybe have like an easy outlet for reanimating something and just increase our density of things to sneak in. But the real heavy hitters are stuff like Vaultborn Tyrant and Titan of Industry. Titan of Industry has a lot of modality and can even like nav and omniscience when it comes into play. But Vaultborn Tyrant works particularly well with Sneak Attack because if you sacrifice Vaultborn Tyrant, it just basically comes back as an artifact token of itself and it gains life and draws cards. It's just really powerful. And we also have some support pieces. Thoughtseize's interaction or a discard outlet for ourselves. Faithless Looting, Deathrite Shaman, which can ramp us and do a little bit of everything. We're also trying out Fauna Shaman. This actually works with both the Reanimate and the Sneak Attack plans because you can put targets into the graveyard or summon them into our hand. Just decided to try it out, and of course harnessing the power of Once Upon a Time with a lot of impactful creatures and lands that we're looking for, it can just smooth things out in our opening hands. Now I want to mention, I've sort of miscalculated. This is my last content before MH3 releases, and I just wanted to get it out there, so this is an extra video this week. Everything else will be post MH3. Let's jump and do some games. Alright, this is an okay hand. We don't have a Reanimate or a Sneak Attack, but I mean, we got a lot of action, so definitely keep this. Lead with the Thoughtseize in case there's anything nasty we need to prevent. And there sure is something nasty, a Rest in Peace on the other side. Definitely going to grab that just so our Reanimate strategy is still alive. Nice thing about Sneak Attack plus Reanimate is that you could still survive Graveyard Hate. We're going to go ahead and hammer him again with Thoughtseize. And yeah, they have the Surge of Salvation to prevent against that. So we forced the issue, and now we can slam Deathrite Shaman. Trying to get some red sources for future sneak attacks, so had to shock that in. At a quite low life total already, so we do have to be mindful of that. Alright, Mutavault into Youthful Valkyrie. This is a much more like defensively oriented Angels deck than I've seen in the past, so we'll have to see how we match up. Alright, Angel coming in. No Mutavault attack. And they're gonna pass, so we're gonna go ahead and grab a Surveil land right here just to see if we can dig a little bit. We're getting sort of overloaded on like threats that sort of are bogged down in hand right now. Generous Ent, yeah, we definitely don't want that, so we're gonna bin that and hope to find something useful. And yeah, might as well activate Deathrite Shaman. Gonna make them lose life. Honestly, like, probably should have just made us gain some life. Though we would sacrifice our like one reanimation target, at least at that time. I run 2 Surveil lands in this deck because we have, you know, 6 land cyclers plus fetches, and so they're just very useful utility to be able to have. And there's a Sneak Attack, so we're definitely going to keep that on top. And we can, assuming Deathrite survives, we'll be slamming monsters next turn, so very happy about that. Now when I make videos, I tend to do them in batches, and I just didn't really keep track of time and ended up making a few videos that would have bled into MH3 releasing, which obviously is going to have a big impact in Timeless. So that's why I'm releasing this video at a not usual time, is because of I lost track. So I wanted to get this one out there, even though it's like maybe slightly obsolete from MH3. Not completely, but that's the rationale. As we get ready to slam Sneak Attack, I really like testing with this deck. I've noticed it would sometimes tap you out of red mana at weird times, so being extra cautious with the auto tap right here. But we resolve Sneak Attack, and the question is whether you put a Dinosaur or a Titan of Industry into play. I'm gonna go ahead and put a Vaultborn Tyrant it's just going to gain us a big chunk of life, and it's just going to die and then get replaced by its artifact version. Now, if we drew an untapped red source, we could have snuck in a Titan as well, so that would have been incredible. Obviously, we're not doing horrible with a sort of double Vaultborn trigger right now. The opponent's in huge trouble right now. Alright, Youthful Valkyrie. If they could slam like another Angel right there, then they'd maybe be okay. I mean, we draw another Vaultborn Tyrant. Like, you know what we have to do right now. We have to put another one in there. Now, something you do have to watch out for this deck is accidentally decking yourself. If you get too many Vaultborn Tyrants into play and like play a Titan of Industry or a couple other things, like you can actually deck yourself. But we put the second Vaultborn in, and that's enough. So if you enjoy seeing sneaky giant dinosaurs, please Deserter Quarters the like button. Thank you, and we're on the next one. This hand at least has an Oliphaunt as like an early like reanimation target. But we're definitely going to slam a turn 1 Deathrite Shaman and see where that takes us. Fighting against Lurrus deck right now. Alright, blue-white land. Pass. Lurrus can mean so many different things. It's very versatile, so... Gonna go ahead and use Deathrite's mana right now. We want a double spell right here. Gonna slam a Fauna Shaman. See what happens. So far nothing, so we're gonna crack the next one. Play another Deathrite. Alright, and they have Swords to Plowshare, so... Deathrite Shaman bites the dust. And yeah, gonna grab a Stomping Ground, get the Deathrite Shaman. Okay, still waiting to see what we're up against. Opponent just passes, so I'm like leery to do too much into open mana. I mean, we're gonna leave it Thoughtseize and see if we can make something happen. Alright, so opponent has Counter Spell. And gonna go ahead and just keep the lands flowing. Like right now these creatures do nothing for us in hand, and so might as well get our utility land. So gonna go and grab a Surveil land. Maybe you could even put one more Surveil land in here. You do run the danger of like too many enter the battlefield tap lands, but like I said, we have so much land searching that we can like really use that selection to our advantage. Not to mention if you mill or Surveil a Titan of Industry into the graveyard, it could set up a Reanimate, for example. So now the question, so I'm activating Fauna Shaman right here via Deathrite Shaman. Go Shamans. Alright, so the question is, what do we get? Oh, I'm actually not activating Fauna Shaman, sorry. Just cycling Oliphaunt to grab another Surveil. Oh, no, we can't get the other Surveil, and they're both... Already grabbed the mountain one. So we're just going to grab a basic mountain. Might have been better to Fauna Shaman there and just get another Deathrite Shaman. I think I eventually get to that conclusion with the second Titan of Industry. Gonna go ahead and get a Deathrite Shaman. Like, we already have a good thing to sneak in with the Titan right now, and the opponent, Deathrite Shaman like is strong, and they've already shown that they're scared of it by swordsing our first one, and so it seems like a good idea just to put a second one into play. Alright, Sorin's Ransom on our end step. It's like a Factor Fiction with like a ring temp, but it's like really strong. It's only 3 mana, so we have to make a face down pile and a face up pile, and the opponent has like excellent top 4 cards. So I eventually come to the conclusion that put Snapcaster in the hidden pile, and like either way opponent's getting some good stuff, but I figure a Snapcaster plus like flashing back a spell is way worse for us. But now the opponent's just camping on Memory Lapse plus Swords. So we're just going to start grinding them out with Deathrite Shaman. Knowing that they have Snapcasters, but you have to really be choosy like about what we get rid of in their graveyard. And decide Swords is probably the best thing considering we have giant monsters. So just seeing if I could try and prompt something from the opponent. Alright, so they're going to Swords the Fauna Shaman. We're definitely okay with that. With grander aspirations than that. The opponent has a face-up Memory Lapse. I'm not going to just play a sneak attack into that, and it's just a waste of time. So we've got to wait to see if maybe they go shields down. And in the meantime, we can keep pressuring them with the Deathrite Shamans. Alright, and once again, I'm going to keep targeting Swords to Plowshares, knowing that they have Snapcasters. Alright, I'm going to activate the other Deathrite Shaman. And this is the power of Deathrite Shaman. Like, our main game plan like isn't really in action right now, but they just do a lot of work. So that was why I used Fauna Shaman to get the Deathrite Shaman earlier. And honestly, we're like not far from hard casting Titan, so we can sort of just wait until we do that without like having to like overexpose ourselves to getting blown up by counter spells. Alright, Bowmaster's gonna ding Deathrite Shaman. And they have a follow-up Bowmaster, so we're forced to use our Deathrite Shaman right now on our Incept. And Soren's Ransom seems to be more threatening card, so we're just emptying out their graveyard, and when we've already got them down to 4, the question is, can our remaining Deathrite Shaman go the rest of the way? And they can like turn a swords on one of their own creatures to try and buffer their life total. Alright, they're putting Luris into hand. And thinking about their attack. Alright, just that one. Yeah, happily take that. Alright, so we're just going to activate Deathrite and just see if we can get there all the way. So yeah, we're going to snag their Brainstorm. Knock them to 2. Thoughtseize is incredible, because that's going to allow us to like see if there's any crazy Stifle or something that's going to mess with us. Alright, so they memory lapse it, but that opens the door for Deathrite, and yeah, we lock up another win. No sneaking and no reanimating, but just good old-fashioned Deathrite Shaman grind out right there. This is an absolutely incredible hand. Once Upon a Time is like really strong in this deck. Thoughtseize is unfortunate on the other side, but it's like a reality in Timeless. So I end up grabbing a Vaultborn Tyrant. I think I really should have grabbed a Deathrite Shaman. I think that was a big mistake there. We have no means of discarding Tyrant, and like, I guess I wasn't certain the opponent was going to take Sneak Attack, but it like they may have taken Thoughtseize. Now here's a tough decision right here. Opponent's hand is pretty stacked. We have a lot of nothing going on in our hand. And so I'm scared of all 3 of those cards, and I think I make the wrong choice. I take Shieldred because that plus 1 ring can just get real crazy. But honestly, Deathrite Shaman is really bad for us because that's going to police our graveyard and just shut down our whole Reanimator avenue. So we are getting really flooded right now, so we're hoping this Surveil land we grab can like help make something happen. But I think I should have taken the Deathrite Shaman. And we're going to keep our own Deathrite Shaman. But letting them have Deathrite Shaman opens them up to like turn 4 Ring or turn 4 Shieldred. Now this is a savvy play from the opponent. They could have slammed Ring right here, but that would have opened the door to us like spiking a Reanimate and then hitting the Troll, and then like they might have been in trouble right there. So opponent is just playing it very patient, waiting until they can basically play the Ring and keep up the graveyard hate. They can tell we have something going on, so the opponent's playing really, really great right now. Alright, Raucous Theater, still trying to desperately make something happen. Fauna Shaman doesn't seem amazing right now, though we could have pitched Vaultborn Tyrant to get another Deathrite Shaman, so maybe we should have kept it. And so this is the savvy play from the opponent paying off. We can't reanimate anything because they can just nab it in response, and so I could have like turned the Reanimate on to Shieldred at the very least to like, I don't know if that was worth it, because they still would have just exiled it.
Nobody knows.
Now Liliana of the Veil on the opposing side is real tough. So I'm going to attempt to Deathrite Shaman activate, hoping to like bait the opponent into, you know, trying to exile it in response to us, but the opponent knows better than that. So Liliana of the Veil is really tough because even if we manage to get something big into play, unless it's like a Vaultborn Tyrant, they can just edict us. So, and we're out of Surveil lands. I could see an argument for one more Surveil land in this list. But yeah, I talked about earlier how like I just was sort of making old content when it would be released at post MH3, and so I decided I didn't want to scrap this video. I wanted to just release it and then move on to MH3 because I still thought it was a fun deck. Now Liliana's going to start getting us right now. Opponent's playing very patient. There's an Uro that hits the bin. Vaultborn Tyrant's tough. So I think right here I should have just attempted to reanimate their Uro. That does a couple things. Either we you know, get an Uro trigger or they had to exile their own Uro to prevent us from drawing some cards. So I think I should have, I think I should have tried to do it that way. And the opponent is just sort of keeping the vice grip on us right now.
I'm tired of your secrets.
Now, I think I maybe should have just discarded Reanimate because we're super close to just hard casting Vaultborn Tyrants. And like, obviously, like the Reanimate plan is sketchy right now. Now, this is the tough part, is that we can't hard cast Tyrant yet, and Liliana is going to keep eating away at our hand. So it seems like we had, at this point, had to just keep the Reanimate and just use it to insulate our hand against Liliana. Now, as we get ground out in this matchup, I'm interested to hear, what do you think, what cards from MH3 do you think could go in this archetype or improve it? Like, do the evoke elementals make any sense in here? Let me know in the comments. Alright. So here we go. We managed to spike a land anyway, but yeah, we have 7 mana, so we're just going to try and slam a Vaultborn Tyrant. But that blue mana on the other side, we get memory lapsed. All is not completely lost though, because we can try, well, post dig through time, maybe it is lost now because the opponent's going to dig super deep. Not only that, but they have the ring just going wild right now, drawing them so many cards. So they have Liliana that emptied our hand, plus Edict at the ready, marching up to ultimate, and they have 1 ring going off. Now, I don't know, there's, you know, the whole butterfly effect. Who knows how things would have changed if I had Thoughtseize the Deathrite Shaman earlier. But we might have been able to, like, but, like, reanimate something. Alright, so opponent has another memory lapse. Should have cracked the fetch in response to that, just to try and thin the deck a little bit, but it's looking increasingly grim right now, because Deathrite can almost nearly end us right now. This is happening on our end step, and yeah, the opponent has essentially the kill right here with the attack plus Deathrite Shaman activations. And so even if we like manage to resolve, and yeah, Shouldered definitely, so this is where I decided to pack it in, but it was over ahead of time. So a tough loss, but that's just the power of Deathrite Shaman right there. Moving on to the next one. Love Once Upon a Time. Like, it's just so awesome. It digs so deep and really allows you to sort of improve your hand. We're finally going to see Faithless Looting go off. So grab a Vaultborn Tyrant and we'll see if we can make something happen. Gonna grab a green source right here since we have a red source. Alright, so we're going to Thoughtseize. And this is some sort of dredge deck because of Stitcher Supplier, and they're going to turn Founding the Third Path on themselves. So it's also used in mill, but obviously they're trying to self-mill. Alright, so they're going to Secret Keeper themselves. And they have a Silver Smoke Ghoul, but no like prized amalgams or anything. Alright, so we're going to shock in Stomping Grounds, lead with Faithless Looting. And there's a Reanimate. Now, there's always like a tension in this deck of like how many things do you just toss in the graveyard versus keep in your hand, since we have both Reanimate and Sneak Attack. So I decided just to pitch, sort of hedge a little bit, pitch 1 threat, keep 1 in hand. Hopefully it won't even come to that, but we're going to Reanimate Vaultborn Tyrant. And it's going to briefly knock our life total to 6, but yeah, the opponent just packs in. So that was way too quick for them to keep up with. So that's what we love to see. Alright, moving on to the next one. Shockland, pass. Another Once Upon a Time. Love that card. Not every deck can like leverage it super well, but the ones that can, like, it's just an amazing feeling. Just like a 0 mana like Impulse, basically. Like, it's super strong, like stronger than Impulse sometimes. So yeah, it seems like Titan of Industry might as well get that going. Now, there is an interesting line of play. The reason we play Thoughtseizes in here is that you can actually turn it on yourself as a discard outlet. So, like, for example, turn 2, we could go Thoughtseize ourselves, bin a Vaultborn Tyrant, Reanimate Vaultborn Tyrant. So, alright, opponent hammers us with Archive Trap. So now we're playing a mill deck. Alright, Thoughtseize. Their hand is not super amazing. Into the Story is, like, going to be relevant much later in the game. Jace the Perfected Mind can actually mill a decent amount, so I go ahead and take that. Opponent is going to get to consider. They've been a land to get a fresh card. So we will need, like, we can reanimate Oliphaunt next turn. Like, we'll have to see. Okay, so the opponent has hit us with a ton of mill right now, and so you could see me checking out the graveyard, like, what targets do we have, and they basically have done the hard work for us. Like, we didn't end up needing to turn Thoughtseize on ourselves or anything like that because they've already stocked our graveyard. Now, normally you see me going for Vaultborn Tyrants. Here I'm going for Titan of Industry because it presents the quickest clock. So I'm going to go for 4/4 plus shield counter. Shield counter on the token to prevent it from fatal, like to protect it from fatal push. And we killed them with 2 attacks with this setup right here. So that's Titan of Industry is also in there for the show and tell matchup. Like, if we can drop a Titan and kill the Omniscience right away, like, that can lock up that one. So Titan is just a very versatile card. Alright, Tasha's Hideous Laughter is not good against us because we have so many, like, expensive cards in our deck. So yeah, we're going to attack them for 11. And we can just hammer them with Thoughtseize. I mean, yeah, opponent packs it in. So, nice win against Mill. And yeah, they just basically enabled our graveyard and we were able to just reanimate them. Game over. So, now this is an awkward hand. I think I snapped it off too quickly. Like, if we can find a red mana source, then it starts looking really nice. But we don't have a red mana source. So, and Deathrite Shaman from the opponent. Alright, we've unlocked our red source. It's going to be a little slower. Like, it's mana inefficient to play Deathrite Shaman here, but I feel like I need to get that red source ASAP. But I'm not liking that keep of mine. Like, this hand is just, I think a mulligan could have done really well for us. Now, I like this from the opponent. It's a little aggro, but they're sniping the land in response to deny us our mana. So what I'm doing here is I'm passing to second main phase to force them to use their mana, not just leave it floating while we do stuff. So they are going to play Bowmasters. Now, that does matter because we have Faithless Looting in hand. So what I'm going to do here is just going to get a Surveil land. But what I think I should have done is just shocked in a red source and just played Faithless Looting right into the Bowmasters because we need something to happen. I'm like I said, it's hard to say, but I end up putting a Fauna Shaman into play, but I think we don't really have any interaction anyway. We just gotta hope to slam our giant dinosaurs. Alright, Insidious Roots on the other side. I like the Seed of Hope technology over there. I actually just played a Insidious Roots deck in Timeless recently, so I'll link that right now. So at this point I decide just to play into the Bowmasters. And it's going to be painful. They're going to chew up all of our creatures. But if we can, like, spike a Reanimate or a Sneak Attack here, we'll be feeling pretty good. So we're going to go ahead and bin some stuff. The reason I'm like, decided to go for it here, despite how painful it is that it is a shields down moment for Deathrite Shaman nabbing our threats. They can nab a land. Well, actually, no. Never mind. It's not even a shields down moment because their Orc token can tap for mana because of Insidious Roots. So things are actually more dire right now than I even realized at the current time because the Orc is a token creature and therefore can tap. So we are just feeding the Bowmasters and we lose a lot. I waited to play the Deathrite till after the dust had settled because we'd rather the other Shaman get taken down. So that was a very brutal series of events right there. Yeah, and there's the end step Seed of Hope from the opponent. Opponent did manage to find a land, but it's looking real grim for us. Agatha's Soul Cauldron is another form of graveyard hate, so it's looking real tough because they can hold Deathrite Shaman and Agatha's Soul Cauldron over us. So like it's like sneak attack or bust, like right now, and we didn't find one. We might be able to stave off death a little bit by like gaining some life. Opponent is going to hit us, hit our Vaultborn Tyrant. I decide just to exile it in response. Like, denying them the life gain isn't important. It's more ensuring we get life gain. But they could have Agatha's Soul Cauldron to prevent the life gain anyway. It's pretty rough. But now they have Fauna Shaman powers because of Agatha's Soul Cauldron. And scavenging, yeah, like that's a little bit too much graveyard hate, and we have to pack it in. This is just a very enjoyable strategy. Like, I mean, that one win we're able to reanimate Vaultborn Tyrant turn 2, just prompt the concession. Like, super fun. I really like being able to do stuff like that, and it's just really exciting gameplay, and get to do you get to cheat broken monsters into play. It's really fun. The sneak attack plan's a little clunky, but I like having that out against like tons of graveyard hate that's present in this format. So, but I guess the real question is what form does this deck take post MH3? Because now we have the pitch elementals like Grief and Fury, and it seems like this kind of strategy should work those in somehow. Like we'd have to like definitely cut down Generous Ent and switch over to like these land cyclers. We definitely have to trim out some more green cards. Maybe the Fauna Shamans would get cut. Possibly change our top end threats to be red and or black. I don't know. It's interesting to see. I do like these, so it's hard to say. But I really like the idea of like pitch casting Fury, killing a Deathrite Shaman, you know, and then reanimating it. Like that's just super strong. Like it does go sort of good with like sneak attack because it gets a little clunky in multiples. We can use them to pitch this stuff. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what form this deck takes going forward. But yeah, all my subsequent content will be post MH3, and you bet you'll be seeing some Evoke Elementals in the next video. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to see even more nonsense, please consider subscribing. And if you're already subscribed, thank you for your support. Your engagement with the channel helps me know what the people want. Thank you.